If you've been waking up tired even after what should be a full night of sleep, you're not alone. This is one of the most common things I hear from women, especially in midlife. You're doing the things you've been told to do. You're going to bed earlier. You're trying to get 7 to 8 hours. Maybe you're even tracking your sleep like I do. And still, you're waking up feeling like you didn't rest at all. I'm Natalie Tysdal, and today we're going to talk about why that's happening and what you can actually do about it. Because this isn't just about sleep. It's about how your body is functioning underneath that sleep. And before we get started, I want to tell you about something I've been learning more about lately. It's called block therapy. I recently had the chance to interview the founder of Block Therapy, Deanna Hansen, on the podcast. It was a fascinating episode. You can go back, you can listen to that. Just find it wherever you listen to your podcast or watch. But in this conversation, we talked about fascia, why it matters so much for how your body feels, and how tension, pain, stiffness, even that heavy compressed feeling in your body might be connected to it. And what I really appreciated is that Block Therapy is designed to help support your body through simple guided techniques that you can do right at home. I do it right behind us on the floor here in my office. It focuses on fascia decompression, breath, alignment, and helping your body move and just feel better overall. So if this sounds interesting to you, I'd encourage you to check out Block Therapy through the link on my website. It's the trusted resource page of my website. You can also find it in the show notes. But I have an easy website for you to remember for this, natalietysdal.com/favorites. Again, natalietysdal.com/favorites. This is a great way to decompress and start feeling better and sleeping better overall. Learn more by going to the link, natalietysdal.com/favorites, and see whether it might be a good fit for you. Okay, let's get started with the topic of the day. It is sleep. We know how important it is. It is the number one thing women tell me they struggle with. You can be asleep, and did you know your body might not be recovering? That's the part most people don't understand. Sleep quantity is not the same as sleep quality. And even more important, sleep is not the same as restoration, because if your body stays in a state of stress, you'll never fully drop into the kind of deep restorative sleep that actually gives you your energy back. So what's happening in your body? Let's simplify this. I have interviewed thousands really over the 30 years that I've been a health journalist, of doctors and experts. And here is some of what I have learned. Your body has two main modes, fight or flight, or rest and repair. If your nervous system is stuck in that first mode, even just a little bit, your body doesn't fully power down at night. And we need that power down when our brain works and cleans out. And that means lighter sleep, more waking, less deep sleep, waking up the next day, even though you've been in bed for 8 or 9 hours, tired, even after all that time in bed. And here's what comes into play: cortisol. Cortisol overall is not bad. You need cortisol. It helps you wake up. It gives you energy. But when it's elevated at the wrong times, especially at night, it interferes with your ability to fully rest. And in midlife, women specifically in midlife, this becomes even more noticeable because hormones, they're all over the place, right? And sleep becomes lighter. Your system becomes more sensitive to stress. So what's actually driving all of this? There are a few key things that I see over and over and that doctors talk about with me. Number one, chronic stress. It's the biggest one. Not just major stress, but constant low-level stress, busy schedules, the mental load you might hear, always being on. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real threat, like a bear coming at you, and just a full calendar. So it stays activated. And when that happens, your body never fully feels safe enough to get a good night's sleep and to really rest. Number two, blood sugar instability. This, I think, is a hidden one. If your blood sugar drops during the night, your body releases cortisol to bring it back up, and that will wake you up. or keep you in a lighter sleep mode, not that restorative sleep mode that we need. This is often why people wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Does that ever happen to you? Do you relate to it? Because during really stressful times in my life, I would wake up 3 o'clock on the dot. Clockwork, 3 o'clock. I'd wake up, look at the clock, and I'd go, it's 3 o'clock again. That, my friend, is cortisol. Once I identified that problem, I was able to address it. Still struggle with it sometimes because we all do, but that is cortisol. Number 3, hormonal shifts in midlife. Estrogen and progesterone change. Progesterone especially, it has a calming effect. And as it declines, sleep can become more fragmented. You might fall asleep okay. Like I fall asleep when my head hits the pillow, but you might not stay asleep. And then number 4, mental load. Even if your body is completely still, your brain might not be still. Maybe you're running through lists in your mind, thinking about what's going on the next day, your schedule. You're just trying to hold it all together. And oh my, how this gets in our way. Have you ever done this? Have you rehearsed conversations in your head in the middle of the night over and over? You fall asleep, you wake back up thinking about that conversation. You might fall asleep a little bit more, and then you're still having that same conversation in your head. Your brain and your body are constantly communicating. And here's where it gets really frustrating. You're tired, so maybe you reach for more caffeine throughout the day. You push through the day because it's the only thing you know how to do. Maybe you skip meals or you undereat. Maybe you try to do more. All of that is increasing stress, which makes your sleep even harder to get. And all of that makes you more tired, even though, again, you might be in bed more than usual. And you think, I'm doing myself a favor. I'm going to bed at 9:30 instead of 10:30. But you're stuck in this loop of stress, poor sleep, fatigue, and then more stress. It's just this constant circle. So here's the shift we need to make. Instead of asking, how do I get more sleep? Here's the question. How do I support better recovery? Because energy doesn't just come from sleep. Like I mentioned when we first started, it actually comes from stable blood sugar, a regulated nervous system, constant and consistent rhythms of feeling safe in your own body. You can't outsleep a stressed system. And I think I should probably say that again with more emphasis. You can't, and please remember this, you can't outsleep a stressed system, no matter how hard you try or how early you go to bed or how many vitamins you take. You just can't. So I'm going to try to make this really easy for me and for you. And although it might all sound overwhelming, it simply doesn't have to be. So if you're feeling stuck and you're not sleeping well, you're in bed, but you're just not feeling recovered, or you're reaching for that caffeine in the middle of the day, let's all try this for the next 7 days. Do it with me. You don't have to do it perfectly. Just be consistent and do the best you can. First, eat morning protein within 30 minutes of waking up. This helps stabilize your blood sugar, and it sets your cortisol rhythm up for the day, and that will help you throughout the day and night. My go-to on busy mornings is a drinkable yogurt. I love those Chobani yogurts. They're easy. I can take it with me on the road. I sometimes might grab a protein shake, but on not so rushed mornings, I'll make eggs with whatever veggies I have on hand, and then I love to season it with like turmeric and the everything bagel seasoning or something like that. I buy egg whites at Costco in those cartons, and I use them in everything because it is such great protein. You want 30 grams within 30 minutes of waking up. And I know some of you feel like delaying food is better because I'm not getting as many calories then, and I'm trying to lose weight. I'm just not hungry in the morning. You might tell yourself, and I have done this too, I don't need to eat first thing in the morning. But I promise you, you will feel better if you get that protein when you wake up. And what worked for you in weight loss, I just did an episode last month on stress and weight loss. But what worked for you when you were young in delaying eating and cutting back on calories, It does not work in midlife. It just doesn't. We need to fuel our body first thing in the morning. Your body will come out of that stress mode when it's not starving. So that's the morning. During the day, again, let's all try this for 7 days, okay? During the day, walk after meals. 10 minutes, just get up, walk, go around the block, go down to the mailbox, whatever it is, but walk after every meal. This gets your digestion going. Also, it's just important for overall functioning. Okay, this one's a little bit hard for me. Reducing caffeine afternoon. I like coffee. I like an afternoon coffee. But if you reduce your caffeine in the afternoon, that 3 o'clock, that's when I hit a slump, it's really not helping you as much as you think it is. So try to reduce caffeine afternoon. If you're not perfect, it's okay. Maybe cut it back to 2 instead of 3. But it's really important that we try to let our body slowly come down in the afternoon. Also pay attention to how often you're pushing through fatigue instead of responding to it and admitting where you are in the afternoon that you're fatigued. In the evening, then, start dimming your lights a little bit earlier. Avoid intense workouts late at night. Afternoon, good, but late at night, avoid that. Give your body a signal. It's time to wind down. And what we're learning to do is support the nervous system, even just 5 minutes in the evening, right before you're winding down to go to bed. Sit quietly, breathe, step away from the stimulation of your phone. We're all guilty of scrolling at night, but try to step away from it and just be in your own body and think. Take those deep breaths and calm down. Maybe you've heard this, your sleep environment. Yep, it matters and more than we think it does. Keep your room cool at night. During the day, our house is around 70, and at night, we turn it down to 68. Try it. Yes, you'll be a little bit cold, but you'll sleep better. Add another blanket if you need to. You'll sleep better if it's a little bit cooler. Also, turn off lights and any flashes in your bedroom. I, for example, have a charger on a strip, and that strip has a little blue light on it. I see it all the time. I finally put a piece of tape over it. Keep your room dark and keep bedtime consistent. Again, not perfect, but be consistent. And here's the key. It's not about doing more. It's really about doing less and being more intentional, because all of these things, when you do them all, like eating first thing in the morning, walking after every meal, getting to bed and taking that time to slow down, they all add up to just an overall calmer nervous system. You don't need more discipline. You don't need to try harder. You really just need a body that feels safe and safe enough to rest. Because when your body finally feels safe, it's going to give you energy back. It's actually working for you and you will feel more energy. I hope all of this resonated with you. Short episode today because we all need more time, right? If this did resonate with you, please share it with someone who's been feeling the same way. Maybe a best friend, or maybe somebody in your Bible study, or maybe a friend at work, because we all need these reminders. I appreciate you following the podcast so you don't miss what's coming next. I've got some great episodes coming up. We're going to keep having these conversations in a way that actually helps us all feel better. So have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.